Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, I'm going to pull up this screen. Yep, Bama fans do not want Buchner. I'm really surprised. I thought they would invite him in with open arms given their quarterback situation down there in Bama. But they've pretty much said talk to the hand, and we're going to get into all this. Now, one of the places I like to go if I want to keep up with Alabama stuff is the Bama Hammer. It's a really good site if you want to know what's going on in Alabama football. And one of the writers actually just put out an article. His name's Ronald Evans, and he writes for the Bama Hammer. And now he does not like the Vols or certainly not Philip Fulmer, as you can imagine. You know, they've always blamed him for their 10-year issue, but actually worked out good for him. Look, they wouldn't have got Nick Saban without Fulmer. But anyway, let's see what they've got to say about this whole Tyler Buchner thing. Right here, it says yes or no on transfer QB Tyler Buchner. And this is a real good read if you want to check it out. It says, Tuesday for Alabama football fans was filled with debate about former Notre Dame quarterback Tyler Buchner visiting the Crimson Tide. Most media reports stated Buchner would indeed be in Tuscaloosa soon. Fueling much of the conversation is that Buchner played for Crimson Tide offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. And Tommy, of course, like I said, he just came from Notre Dame, and he's very well of Buchner and worked with him for a couple of years. But Notre Dame brought in Sam Hartman, who was, he was kind of the big dog, and they paid a fortune for him. Many Crimson Tide fans are not taking the news of a Buchner visit well. Bama Hammer asked in a Twitter poll, yes or no, should Alabama add Buchner? 74% of the responses were a solid no. They do not want him. That's pretty surprising. They did not have a good spring game at all. Their completion percentage was very poor. Throwing interceptions, it didn't go well at all. Their big guns are Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, but they did not really impress. And so everybody in Alabama, that's watching them is concerned. I'm certainly concerned because the last thing I want them to have is QB problems. But here, this article states that a lot of people think Milroe and Timpson is better than Buchner. And there's a portion of folks that think all the current Alabama quarterbacks are better, and there's 4 of them down there. Now, if they do bring in Buchner, 1 will probably transfer. I wouldn't doubt that. It says, but fans have a reason to be concerned about the impact of potentially adding Buchner. The big question is how many and which ones of the current QBs would transfer, like we said. The window on that decision short. The portal entry window closes April 30th. Then it asks the question, does Alabama football need Tyler? Buchner played in 13 games over 2 seasons for the Fighting Irish. His stats do not indicate potential greatness. Now you're getting into the Alabama mindset. Look, they've had amazing quarterbacks the last decade. The last one being, of course, Bryce Young, who was a magician. I mean, that guy, look, had it not been for him, we'd have won that game up in Neyland by 30 points. It wouldn't have been close had it been Jalen Milroe. But, that's what they're used to. But when you're spoiled, you want what you're used to.
Don't care how I want it now.
It's tough for us because we had Hendon Hooker for 2 years, and that puts a lot of pressure on Joe Milton because he may play really well, but if he doesn't play up to Hendon Hooker, some people will be disappointed, and that's just human nature. So that's their concern. And then when they look at his numbers of 56% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, that's not impressive. He really played well in the South Carolina game, but they're just not impressed with his numbers. And it may be that Tommy Rees is just allowing a courtesy visit as a favor to Buchner, but I doubt it. I bet Tommy Rees wants him. Because remember, he picked him as the starter last year. So it says even though Buchner has been a starter and he must be looking to start again, not only will he not be getting a guarantee in Tuscaloosa, but he also risks the chance of never seeing the field. There are better options for Buchner. Auburn would be one. Hugh Freeze desperately wants to add a quarterback. So maybe that is a better fit for him if he's not wanted down there. It's really hard to say. Of course, Nick Saban's going to get what he wants. He's Nick Saban. That's what he does. But there is another team that's very interested, and that's the Florida Gators. And actually, I've been reached out to by their coach, Billy Napier, to come on to the show because he knows if he wants to talk to big-time college athletes that are in the portal, the best place to go is Sports Talk Jay. Anyway, I almost didn't get through that one. But anyway, he wanted to come on the show, and let's see what Coach Billy Napier has to say about the Tyler Buchner situation. He wanted to give a message to him, so let's see how this goes. Well, hello there, Sports Talk Jay. Coach Billy Napier here. Just wanted to take an opportunity to reach out to Tyler Buchner. I just know that he's looking for a home, and Down here in Florida, we got some room for a quarterback, so just come on down. It's no problem. Now, I know you've heard about our contract problems and situations with one Jaden Rashada, and I understand that. Look, that didn't go so well, so you might have a concern. But I want you to know we've made major changes down here in Gainesville, starting with this. See, this was Jaden's contract, and you see the problems and the mistakes that we made. See, we use Charmin, okay? And that's not considered a legal document. We've just found that out. We didn't realize it. So we've made this major change to our contracts. We're using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper now, okay? And we're using official Florida blue ink. And it says right here, we owe you, and there's the amount of money right there, a little dollar sign. We will fill that out. And then right down here, you sign, and then either I or some member of the collective that's not really responsible will sign right there. Now, down here in the corner, if you'll take out an electron microscope, you'll see a little bit of black ink. All that is some very small writing. You don't need to pay any attention to that. It's got words like null and void. If we, just don't even pay attention to it, okay? Just look at this logo and that amount of money. That's what counts. We need you down here in Florida. Would love to have you. Give us a call, and we'll set up a meeting. No problem. And once again, thanks for letting me come on the show, Sports Talk Jay. Love the content. Can't get enough of it. All right, Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show and the kind words. I didn't know you were a fan. That's cool. I cover you a lot, so don't be surprised if you come up again on this particular program. If I was Buchner, I would take my time, and I would be careful on my choice. Auburn would not be a bad choice because they are desperate. So is Florida, though. So go somewhere where they're desperate, where you're going to get treated well. If you go to Bama, you may get a lot of booze and a lot of this. Anyway, we'll get into some more Tennessee stuff later today. But if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and all our SEC foes and all that good stuff. I like to go behind enemy lines. And they're not enemies, they're sports enemies. There's a big difference. But anyway, if you've not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that little button. I would appreciate it. And right over here's my most recent video. Be sure to check that one out. And we will see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.